Welcome to my channel, guys. In today lecture, I will take you the journey of how we revolutionize the DevOps with the NLP. As we all know that with the change in the time, change in the technology, the Gemini CLI or basically if you say agentic AI is in demand and they are revolutionizing the things very fast. Similarly, on the infrastructure side, the things are changing very fast. The approach we take to create an infrastructure from start to end is changing by time. So normally, in if you talk about the 3 to 4 year back, we just tried to create the cluster using the GKE cluster using the gcloud command, and after that, of many production integrated cluster using the Terraforms, right? We use the IAC to create the cluster. No, that the technology base remains the same, but things getting more and more user friendly. So have we thought for you we can just give a prompt, and with that prompt you will able to create infra. You no need to write the any kind of IAC file. You no need to write any kind of gcloud command. You no need to write any kind of bash script. Everything will be written by your Gemini CLI. So that's what my today lecture is. How we revolutionize DevOps, right? And we'll create a GK cluster with the NLP. So in this my video, so my more concern about the tech stack which I have used in creating the GK cluster using the natural language prompts, or we can say it's a Google. So we have used the Gemini CLI. So what we have done is that we have given the introduction to Gemini CLI. But in my this video, you will able to find. Then we will find the tech stack, Gemini CLI installation setup. I will give you the whole practical thing, right? Nothing about the just not about the theory. It's I will give you a whole practical. How do we do that, right? Creating GK cluster with prompts. GK action integration. How do we integrate GK with the Gemini CLI? Advanced feature use cases, best practices, and conclusions. That is a but we are going to be, but we will show you each and everything using the practical only. But I have this document. I have already written the article. Yeah, right. This article. So I will post this article in various web pages also, and you can able to see. But my main concern is that to show you practically, right? How do we revolutionize DevOps? And with the example of creating GK cluster, production ready GK cluster using the NLP. So normally, so if we talk about the Gemini CLI, everybody knows it's an open source AI agent developed by Google that bring the power of Gemini AI model directly to the command line interface. It functions as an intelligent assistant that understands natural language prompt. So that's how we see the prompt engineering is very important. How you give the prompt. With the future, with the coming days, only prompts is going to be this, because the person who has a very knowledge how to give, prompt the NLP, it will be the more it will create the more technical stuff, more technical things. So that's a prompt engineering is very important. Translate them into actionable commands and operation within your development environment. Unlike traditional CLI that required to memorize the specific in-text flag, Gemini CLI allows user to interact with their system using conversational language, making the complex operation more accessible. So key feature, we will use the NLP, free tier access, integrating tooling like GithubAction, right? Extensively framework, right? And multi-platform support and context. That's a key feature. So Gemini CLI for DevOps. So this is my main thing. So rather than taking you getting more time on this, I will directly take you to uh, my practical. How do we do that? I will show you with my GitHub code and GitHub action, right? How do we use this Gemini CLI? How do we have integrated this Gemini CLI with my yes? Let me 1 second. I will take you. 1 second. So I will take you to my code. This is the my directory. This is my repository. In this repository, I have already written a code, right? If I go to workflows, right, I have a code written. So I have a many codes which I am practicing day by day, but many successful code and successful are in my GitHub repo, right? So let me take you to the with the GKE cluster, right? Let me the right. See. So this is the GitHub action. So whenever we write, we have to write in the .github workflow. We have to write the one YAML file. So we have given the name of the workflow as a Terraform with Gemini CLI. We are using only one event, that is the workflow dispatch. So it depends upon how you want to be. You want to create a feature branch, you want to create a pull, then create a pull request and push. Those all depend upon. So for this practical, I am just using with the only with the workflow dispatch, right? So I'm just using the runner, right? So these are my jobs, right? Terraform runners, if I'm using the GitHub runners only, right? So it's all depend on your project, whether you want GitHub hosted runners or GK runners, so that I or you can use, right? So after that, so I'm just checking out the code. So before that, I have to set up a Terraform CLI, right? And after that we have to authenticate GCP. That is very important step. So in this I have using the service account JSON key, and uh, even it is it will not cause any issue because I have created it as a secret, right? I have created this as a secret. So my key is in the secret. So it will not visible if you try to visible. But the best practice is always say go with the workload identity, right? That is keyless authentication. After that we have to set up the Google Cloud, right? That is you will install the gcloud as CLI, right? With this project, it will install the gcloud gem. Then after that, we have to install the Gemini CLI. That means the concern is that gcloud CLI. Then we have to go with the installation of Gemini. That means any system that is having gcloud CLI, then on top of that, we have to install the Gemini CLI. So let's come to the main thing. Configure Gemini CLI auth. So when we install the Gemini CLI on top of Google Cloud, so I have to run this, right? We are making one directory and using this is very important because we are basically platform is Vertex AI and making this platform as a true and redirecting it to my setting.json, right? So that in this way we can configure Gemini CLI auth. Let's come to the main thing, right? So I'm just taking a one directory as a UAT, so anybody can take its own directory, right? So this is my prompt. I don't want to be include any markdown comments. Output with the must start with the resource and provider block, right? Create a following in the goal. So I'm just asking, create a custom VPC. I have given the name, a subnet in US Center 1 with a CIDR this. Two secondary region because I'm creating a BPC native cluster, U8 pods, this and U8 services. And I'm creating the private cluster, U8 in zone this. So, so I have asked with the product with the, so it depends upon how you want to create regional cluster, you want to which release channel, so you can give. So control plane with the public endpoint, right? So I have given that my cluster should be the public and private. So nodes will be having a private IP, and that control plane must have a public IP, right? So we can so that is the most things in the cluster production ready cluster most work like this. So if you want fully private, it is also possible. Just make it a private endpoint as a true. So for testing purpose, I make it as a this master author with 0.0, but for production, you can make it with the IP of your bastion host or something like. Enable IP with the secondary range, node pool, name of the node pool, machine type, right? Auto scaling, right? Auto repair, auto upgrade, right? Assemble variable.tf project.tf and zone exist in the reference. So whatever the file it will create in my main.tf. It will create a main.tf, right? And it will redirect to my u8 folder inside it. And I'm giving it the vertex gen a use equal to true. That is the environmental variable I have to use. And Google Cloud project, that is the, so I can use it as a secret or environmental variable. I just keep it. So it would depend upon the how you create the best practice, right? After that, I'm just creating two important file variable.tf, right, with the region and zone, right? Because I didn't ask a Gemini here to create the variable.tf with the region and zone and then provided.tf, right? So just when this initialization take place, Terraform initialization take place, it understands which provider, for which provider we are going to create this infra, right? Since it is already authenticating with the workload entity, so do not need a separate authentication using the Terraform or something, right? We have workflow authentication already. So after that, so this is very important. So this is just like we are linting the Terraform code which was created, because sometimes there might be issue in the code created by this Gemini CLI. So it's important to always, before running the init, I always link the code to the format. Use Terraform format. Then after that you have to init. So this, during the initialization phase, it will try to understand this provider. That is my Google, right? And then we have to validate the syntax. So then we have to run the Terraform plan, right? And with the on the runtime being given the project ID. So on the runtime being a region. So that means it is totally dynamic, right? So just change your project ID, something it will create, and then we have to go apply. And might you have a question, since we don't have a state file, we can add the step to upload the state file to the GCS bucket. That all depends. So in my present case, I don't have to. Let's go and implement this, right? Okay, that is my workflow Gemini GKE, right? I will go here. Let me see how practice I have done to make this workflow successful. Just I'm using it. Let me see what will happen. Workflow start running. So these are the steps. You can see steps are getting fast. Yeah, it is setting up the Google Cloud, right? G-Cloud CLI. Right after that, it will install uh, the Gemini CLI. Then after that, we configure Gemini CLI auth inside the with the setting.json. And after that, we have to go with the generate Terraform. That is very important. It will generate a Terraform with the Gemini. So we haven't given any file of ourselves. Like we are not creating any kind of Terraform files here, right? We are just providing the prompt. That is what prompt engineering. That is what power of NLP. That is the power of Gemini CLI, right? Let's go. So you will able to see here one by one, right? So you can see there. If I just, it is installing the Gemini CLI. Yeah, it's done. Gemini CLI installed. Configuration CLI auth is okay. After that, I have to go for the generated Terraform with Gemini. Some runtime error doesn't matter on this, right? It will generate and we will do that. So it will create a variable.tf because I am creating just to be okay. No need to be, because format check, sometimes we have given this format is equal to true, it will ignore that because it checks recursively, and sometimes in recursive there might be some error, nothing to worry. So initialize plan is successful, you can see it will create my resources. First it will create the BPC, then after that it will create my subnet with the, that is the Elias secondary IPs for the pods and the services. Then after it will create my primary cluster, GKE cluster. You can see that, and I start creating. Yeah, you can able to see here. So it is in the, it has already created BPC and it is creating the cluster. Let me go take you to the uh, one second. Yeah, let me refresh it. My BPC got created. Let me checking on the Kubernetes cluster. We'll see here what is happening. Yeah, it is in the process. You can see. You can see. So you can see, I will parallelly show you this also. So it is still creating, right? And parallelly, it is showing you here. Oh, sorry, showing you here. That is what power of NLP. So how many overhead get reduced? You no need to write the Terraform files. That Gemini CLI will write it for you. It will create a production ready cluster for you, and it will create the private cluster, right? So that is the power. With single prompt, what we can do, right? That will reduce the overhead of writing the large Terraform files. Then after that, we are getting a lot of errors, and then we are the so just with single prompt, it is creating for you, and it is implementing without any kind of reformatting, any kind of things, because we are in my our workflow, we are linting it. After linting, we checking the syntax. After syntax check, and then the plan will run. Once the plan will run, then only we will able to apply. Because in plan, it will always show you what is going to create, what is not going to create. So this is the magic of Terraform. This is the magic of Gemini CLI. This is the magic of NLP. See, let's come back to my and let's see what's happening here. We will wait for it. So guys, it will take around 5 to 10 minutes. Normally, when you create a GK cluster, we always know what it will take. So we will keep watching, right? 67% of the clusters got created, right? But that is very important. You must know the basics of the all the GCP things, because only then you can give the proper prompt. Prompting is not so easy until unless you have a basic knowledge of your the cloud infrastructure which for which you are creating. You must know the all the option required option. You must know the which network it will use. You must know the how the workflow will go on. So that will give you the power of understanding only, right? Let me refresh it. Let me see how much time it will take. Oh, almost 67%. Let me go here. It is still creating.
सिक्स में अच्छा।
Since I have given the master authorization 0.0 just to check the things, right? There is no intention, because you can give the master authorization of your version when you try to create, right? Intention is just showing you the power of NLP, how NLP, how we revolutionize the DevOps with the single commands, with a single prompt. How prompt engineering is beneficial, because it's just acted like agent. It's an AI agent that will create thus info for you with just a single command. almost cluster in the completion state, right? So let me see, go here and see. It is also apply is going to be finished. Yeah, cluster is ready. You can see here. So let me go to the main cluster first. Yeah, cluster is ready. You can see it's a zonal cluster, right? It is taking some time. It's still running. No worry. Okay. Let me take you details of this. Yeah, cluster is ready. You can see. So we have a master authorized range added, right? You have a network which you have created. You have a subnet. You have a pod IP. You have a service IP, right? So this is what we didn't do anything. We didn't provide any kind of files to the files to the in the GitHub action. So that is it is just created with the parameter. You can see if you go to the nodes. Yeah, it is in the almost in the creation state, so it takes some time. Let me see. Mm, so it is creating the primary nodes. You can see there's a part after creating the nodes, and after that it will create you the node pool, right? That is a normal thing, right? So it will not create with the default node pool, which is the best practice, right? You can see over there. See, it is creating. Let me refresh where it was. Yeah, it's up and running. Yeah, shows it shows that. Let me refresh again. Node is up and running. Yes. So my node pool is was almost ready. Yeah, this is ready. So it is taking some more time. Yeah, it's ready. Node pool is also ready. You can see E2 standard 4. This is my GB that uses the subnetwork. This. So the option we have given is getting enabled automatically. It's in the running state. Okay, let me check my code. Yeah, it's set. It is successful. Yeah, you can see over there. If you see, the Terraform is workflow is successful and we have successfully created. Let me log in and show you, right? Let me connect, right? Yeah. 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 You Patel. Yes. And you can able to see guys. So that's what I would like to explain the power of NLP, how we revolutionize the DevOps with the NLP, right? So thank you guys. That is what I want to be say regarding this. So thank you. Please, any comments, anything you want to improve in my lecture, let me know. Thank you guys. Thank you.